is the radio operator of the spacefaring vessel, LB-01. We were given the mission of broadcasting the serialized gaming podcast Safe Space to as many people as we possibly could. If you can hear this message, then clearly it's been a success. If that's the case, then you should know that what you're about to listen to is a tabletop role-playing game where 5 people roll dice and tell a story of science fiction and survival horror using the Mothership game system by Tuesday Night Games. It was originally formatted for YouTube, but the records have been modified for an optimal audio experience. However, be warned, this is a survival horror podcast, and there may be descriptions of violence, gore, psychological terrors, and mental trauma that some listeners may find disturbing. If you're still out there, then make sure you have your stim packs ready and whatever refreshments you may need. I'm starting the data recording playback now.
Last time, the crew of the O'Brien were desperately trying to escape from a monstrous ship that was eager to devour them. They were almost free, but ZAM BRAZEL was not yet back in the ship before the docking bridge fell apart and he was in danger of being lost to space. Wendy, however, had other ideas. And after Blaze and Quill Albach, I don't know why I've made that name like that because I've created a rod from my own back, one of the Cryo Bay survivors jumped in to help out, and she heroically slid across one of the docking bay panels to reach out and grab for ZAM. And grab him she did. An agonising reach that damaged her further, but even as ZAM told her to let him go, her military training kicked in, and no one was getting left behind. ZAM was pulled back in. Blaze's suit was patched up and he was stabilised by the doctor, and once everyone was safely in the airlock, Captain Austin redirected all power to the thrusters and put the pedal to the metal. The resulting manoeuvre and burst of speed got the O'Brien away from the Icarus, but in the process Quill got knocked unconscious. Still, everyone was safe, although tensions were still pretty high. Blaze had a hole in his leg. Wendy began drinking heavily, her psyche even more damaged than her body. ZAM wanted to turn around and try and attack the Icarus, and Dr. Forrest also wanted to get a warning out about the vessel. Captain Austin, however, just wanted to get as far away from that ship as possible, and with no hyperdrive coil and 3 extra mouths to feed, it looked like the next leg of their journey was going to be a difficult one, unless they all worked together. The crew settled down to get some rest, but rest did not come easy for one of them. Wendy's experiences aboard the Icarus had left her beaten, bruised, and psychologically broken. And when she returned to her safe haven, this shrine she had crafted to a strange deity of her own making, she found no sanctuary or solace. Her fear and panic took over, and she emptied a clip into the shrine before passing out due to exhaustion and a good amount of alcohol. She was found and returned to her regular bunk, but her sleep was not a peaceful one. And in the depths of her unconscious mind, darkness, fear, and nightmarish visions began to consume her from within. and only time will tell what effect that will have on her when she awakes. And that's where we pick up this week. Well, actually, first we open in the barracks and storage area of the O'Brien. Back when Blaze Kelvin, now I'm guessing you're out of your military uniform at that point. You've got into your, or did you get out of the military uniform just before you went to sleep?
Have I been asleep?
Not yet. This was just after what happened with Wendy. You got her into a bunk and then you went back to clean up the.
Yeah, I think I'm just in like a jumpsuit because my uniform's fucked.
Absolutely ruined. Yep.
Got a big ruddy hole in the leg.
Yeah, hole in the leg, covered in android matter and God knows what other bloods and liquids. Yeah, so you're now just in the straight up sort of boiler suit jumpsuit of the O'Brien, and you're cleaning up the remains of the shrine. You decided to take apart that which set Wendy off. Obviously, you knew that she just tried shooting it to pieces a few moments earlier.
And setting it on fire.
Yes. Something that someone may need to talk to her about when she awakes. As you break apart this...
Literally shot 4 bullets, 3 in one in each heart and 1 through the head. So,
Yeah.
No lectures right now.
I noticed the immaculate grouping.
Yeah, that is one. Yeah, as you're cleaning it, you do notice like the sort of it's not graffiti, but the art. That is the shots of someone who nailed exactly what they wanted to shoot. It's just another little detail that you pick up about Wendy, who you didn't know this about before. As you're breaking apart this strange sort of crafted effigy made of all bits and all kinds of things, isn't it, Wendy? It's sort of like it's a mishmash of different textures, textiles, and metal, and just scrap and just everything. And you're boxing up the remains into like storage crates to be sort of tucked away or binned or things like that. Yeah, because some of it is just absolutely ruined.
Post-its,
yeah, some of it's wet, damp with alcohol.
It's all junk.
Yeah, and as you're sort of reaching in, you suddenly feel something odd within this strange crafted shrine. It's strange at first, like, because the rest of it is just, to you, seems like just craft nonsense. Yeah, I don't know how much respect Blaze has for the world of craft, but I don't imagine that he. No. But then as you feel it's an odd texture, but one that immediately is sort of familiar to you. It's metal. But not just any metal. Gun metal. It's smooth and cold. And then as your sort of fingers move across it, you feel small embossed lettering upon it. It says, the lettering reads SK-109 Seeker. But that, you know what that means, but that doesn't make any sense because this section of the shrine doesn't look big enough to house what you think that is. What do you do?
There's a goddamn sniper rifle.
And I try and pull it out.
And it does sort of like, yeah, you pull out, and it's not the entire rifle. It's like one sort of section of it. Clearly this is not just something that's just been hidden in there. It's something that needs to be put together. But sure enough, you wipe it off and you see the name there, and it is indeed a 109 Seeker, a very powerful smart rifle.
Can I look for the other bits? See if they're hidden in the rest of the debris.
And as you're digging through, all of a sudden you find the stock. Then you find a bit more, then you find the sights. It's strange because it's not grouped together. Wendy has sort of placed this in different spots, but quite specifically placed it. It's not just put there and then hidden. There's definitely a method to it. You can find like a folded up sort of bipod that you imagine would steady it, and takes about 5-10 minutes, and so then you find yourself with a complete set of pieces for a long range sniper rifle at your feet. But that is not all. As you continue to clean, you also find 3 magazines of long range ammo, each containing 12 shots. Now, for those at home,
34 bullets.
for those people at home who think, what does all this mean? Obviously, there are weapons in Mothership. Of course, there are weapons. If only the crew had them instead of using a handweld all the time. And they can all do different amounts of damage, and they have different distances of which they're decent. For instance, short range, you imagine a shotgun is going to do a lot of damage. Long range, something like this is going to do a lot of damage. It has 12 shots per magazine. Its range is from far away, but it will do damage at nearby range. And if you shoot something nearby, it'll do 2d10 damage. But if you shoot something at long range, it will immediately take away a wound. Now, if you're talking about the normal common folk of space, that's killing them. This is a person killer. Like, one shot, one kill. That's what this is. And also, if you get a critical on it, it does gunshot damage as well on the wound table. It will immediately do bad damage. And it does have one of these magazines, I will say. Not all of them. Yes, would it be all of them? Let's let the dice decide. Fucking hell, it's all of them. All of them have armour-piercing rounds.
Could that go through a ship? Perhaps one that is pursuing us.
Perhaps. It's probably this sort of weaponry is not necessarily. Yeah, it's not. This isn't really. This isn't weaponry that's designed for ship to ship battle. But surface of a planet, you're going to give someone a bad day. Now, Wendy, is there anything else about this weapon? Are there any defining marks? Wendy is someone who customizes things. Is there anything else about this weapon that Blaze will notice?
What do I see, Wendy?
I think you would see, kind of etched into the metal, just tiny little things that look like stars. But, you know, like somebody's got a screwdriver and just kind of scored into the metal slightly, but not in a way that would affect the performance of the gun. And there's a lot.
What a beautiful rifle.
A lot.
No, that's not coming off.
And
the more you look at it, the more you see. Like looking up at the night sky.
God, it's covered in them.
As you're sort of cleaning this thing, there's even more that you're discovering. Probably etched into the stock.
Make sure she's not done it down there.
Right. Oh, it's a working gun. It's a completely working gun. It's a very strange thing to behold and sit in front of you right now. So, Blaze, what do you do?
You can take the girl out of the Marines. You can't take the Marines out of the girl.
You might want to rephrase that.
Yeah, I know. Just as I'd said it, I was like, oh no.
It's court-martial offence.
Dishonorably discharged.
I don't know. I'm aware that this isn't supposed to be here. It's been hidden. Whereabouts am I? Like, I'm in the barracks and storage.
You're in the barracks and storage right now.
Is there like lots
Wendy's
of shelves and stuff?
Yeah, there are there's shelves of bits and bobs. This isn't like tools and maintenance equipment. This is a lot of storage crates and and they're not like plastic see-through Tupperware tubs. These are heavy duty storage and stuff.
Oh well, and is this section that I'm in the furthest away from the door? Is it the hidden little...
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Wendy, but Wendy picked the furthermost corner that sort of tucked away from the door. She made it her own. Her little place of peace. Which you're the least aware of. The rest of, Alpha Shift, they're used to Wendy sort of going in and, they've probably seen this thing, whereas this is it's a little stranger to you because you haven't spent too much time with her.
I take down one of the storage crates, hopefully one that's half empty, and put the pieces in there.
Okay.
Close it back up, hide it back up on a shelf.
Do you put it anywhere specific?
On the east side, on the third shelf.
And you made a note.
Oh yeah, I know where it is.
You know which one it was. It you can.
I take out a pen, assuming I've got a pen,
and
just mark a little on the box so I know which one it is.
Okay. What symbol do you mark? Just like a.
Oh, you had to ask. Right, it's a little willy. I've drawn it.
Because no one's going to notice that.
It looks more like a mouse.
Oh, maybe he is good at craft. Okay, so you put it away and you finish cleaning up.
Yeah, and then just carry on cleaning.
And eventually, it's all done, and the ship is now quiet, and you can head back to your bunk, which I believe, as we mentioned on the last session, Blaze hasn't had a chance to yet really properly. Well, he's been out for a couple of weeks, hasn't he? I think. So does he choose to sleep in one of the bunk sections?
Yes.
Okay, so he heads back to
which one's free?
Whichever one you want. Wendy's in one. There's one that Wendy uses, but she is sound asleep. So that can be.
I'll be in the one opposite.
Okay, you'll be in the one opposite. Okay. Just for my reference, Wendy. There are four bunks. Which one? Do you have the one closest?
I would probably go. I don't know, really.
Okay, I'll just mark down
the crap one. No, actually, not the crap one because that's for Zam.
No.
The second worst one.
Okay. I mean, they're all fairly. I mean, they're basic, but they're comfortable enough. Do you know what I mean? That these sort of crew bunks that the crew make their own. It's space enough for 2 beds. But funnily enough, these particular characters hardly ever spend any time there because they find that they've found another place on the ship to call home, like some sort of golem. Zam is always he's always in the engine room. The doc seems to stay in the med bay. Wendy used to always use the barracks, but we'll see if that changes. So you eventually, Blaze takes one look at Wendy, the door where Wendy's sleeping a moment before getting a decent night's rest. Your leg, agony. After doing that, it's all bandaged up and stitched up and stuff, but you just
I'm using
need
the mop as a
crutch. Mop as a crutch. Yeah. And you manage to get some rest. Meanwhile, in the med bay, there is the hum of the spaceship in the background, and the lights are off because Doc, are you currently in the med bay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were sort of up, sort of doing a bit of work, and also probably keeping an eye on the 3 new people that have joined not the crew, but the guests.
Yeah.
Who made an.
We good?
Yeah, they're all sleeping. They all managed to sleep soundly, like eventually. But you gather it's probably more from exhaustion rather than this is comfortable.
It's not comfortable.
And you're just working. Do you choose to go to sleep at your desk? How often? What is the Doc's sort of average kind of end of day scenario?
He'll tidy up the med bay because he likes to know where everything in there is. So he'll tidy it up, sit at his desk and read for a little bit, and then he'll just go off to the hammock he's got in the corner of the room and pass out with Admiral Mittens, usually after a couple of drinks. The Doc, not the cat.
Yeah. An alcoholic cat on the ship. No, that's not canon either. And Admiral Mittens seems to be very pleased to see you back on the ship. And you're just drifting off. And you begin to hear movement just outside the med bay. Someone seems to be walking around outside.
I'll keep listening for a few more moments.
It's it goes quiet for the longest time. And then you hear you're about to nod off. Your eyes are starting to close. The chuckle of a small child.
Oh, fuck, the ship's haunted. I go and investigate.
You go just outside. I need to look at the ship map in front of me now. And just as you look up, and you see where the med bay door is, and there is a window in the med bay door, so. And you just sort of focusing on it, and then something moves past. A figure moves past, a small figure, heading in the direction of the crew bunks.
I will.
The rest of the people in this med bay, they're kind of out of it. I'd imagine you probably gave them something a little harmless to help them sleep. After that.
Not from my personal stash.
No. Oh God, there's a character detail.
The whiskey, Vince.
Oh yeah. The whiskey.
I will grab a stun gun. A trank gun, sorry, and then leave the med bay and follow where I think this figure was headed.
The door of the med bay opens and you lean your head out. Doesn't seem to be anything there, but then you can hear the sounds of feet on the ladder that's heading down to the cargo bay. Almost like someone's climbing down.
Yep, I follow.
Okay. And you trot over, and when you look down, the ladder's completely empty. But you head down, and when you get down to the cargo bay, that level of the ship, you look around. You can see the door to the tools and maintenance equipment and you know, leading out to the cargo bay. You can't see anything, and then all of a sudden you hear like the sounds of soft feet approaching you at a pace. These are definitely feet without shoes. It's the soft padding of bare feet on metal, and it begins
coming from behind or in front.
It's coming from behind you currently, and it picks up pace. It's not heavy footsteps either.
I turn around and point the gun.
You turn around and point the gun just as you feel something pass you. You don't see anything, and it is that sort of. Was it a nudge? No, it can't have been. Nothing past you, and there's a soft giggle in the air, like a child playing a game. And the sound heads onwards towards the jump drive and the life support and further into the ship, away from the cargo bay side of the building.
I think the doc is starting to figure this out. He doesn't want to follow.
Make a fear
But
save. If you've started to figure it out.
44 critical fail.
Could you roll me a panic check?
This is where the doc dies.
That's a 17, also a fail.
You have a new condition.
Oh, you said this would be a downtime episode.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. No, you are now spiraling. You make panic checks with disadvantage.
Oh, you are shitting me.
As all of a sudden your head begins to... You think, this can't be. No, that's not possible. Your scientific brain is trying to piece this together, and you don't believe in this. That can't have followed you here. And as you're doing so, your head is swimming, and you're starting to freak out. But you're not going any further?
I don't want to, and but he feels like he has to. So he does, he follows.
You continue moving further down into the ship, where you see like the sign for the jump drive. That's a highly, that doesn't look like that's been touched, and you hear another small giggle from further up. As you keep going, you're heading towards the door that leads to the emergency shuttle pods. And it's shut. But from behind the door, you can hear a little girl crying.
I drop the gun on the floor and I open the door, or I try to.
You open the door. You drop the gun, open the door, and stood in front of you is a figure. It is not a young girl. It is a fully grown adult woman. A face you recognise. Rage across her eyes and her face, and she looks at you with daggers in her eyes. and she's tears streaming down her face. She says, "I'll make you pay for this." Make a body save, please.
"58, failure."
You pass out. Just absolutely spark out on the floor. And everything goes black. Zam, in the engine room.
Hello. Yes.
In the engine room, we ascertained that you were banging against the engine, trying to get into your happy place.
Yeah.
What's going on with Zam right now? Tell us.
Yeah. Well, he's quite stressed at the moment, so he's going to be taking it out on the engines.
Okay. And the longer you wait, you don't hear anything. No one else bothers you.
Yeah.
And
Nobody ever comes down here.
Dare they?
Yeah.
And eventually, the low hum of the ship. You stop banging at the engine. The low hum of the ship settles your heart rate and your mind a little bit. Where does Zam sleep?
He's got a hammock in between like two pylons in the engine room where he sleeps.
What an image!
Yeah.
And as you're sort of lying there in the hammock, Zam, your head is just absolutely killing you.
Yeah.
But eventually, you drift off to sleep. And everyone gets a good night's rest.
What does that mean?
Mechanically, you've just slept.
I hate to ask this question, but is that it?
That's it.
I'm just asleep in my hammock.
You fell asleep in your hammock.
Yeah, okay.
Why can't I just fall asleep in my hammock? Getting 2 more stress points.
Look.
You're all going to be just sitting there hitting the engine with spanners at the end of this point. Just, I can't do anything else now.
Stay away from my engines.
Now, I would imagine the next... You're in space, so what is day and night? Do you know what I mean? But probably Wendy may be the first to awaken. Wendy, what happens?
Wendy wakes up.
In a dark room. There's no lights on.
There you go.
Oddly reminiscent of the nightmare you just had. Because the room's completely pitch black.
However, I appear to be in a bed or on a bed rather than being subsumed by hideous goo and tentacles. So I'm thinking this is probably okay. Wendy is going to get up and go looking in just kind of probably the crew area, either in the lounge. She's looking for a specific item.
First off, this won't incur stress, but just make me a body save, just quickly, Wendy.
Body save. Will my athletic training help me?
Not in this case.
Okay, nope.
You got a hell of a
Mega
hangover.
fail.
You got a hell of a
Not
hangover.
critical.
You got the hangover. You got a bad hangover. You haven't drunk like that in quite some time. You're not going to suffer disadvantage. That was purely just to see how you felt. Yeah.
That's fair enough. In which case, Wendy goes looking for 2 things. Coffee.
Yeah.
And then Wendy is going to go and try and find a pair of clippers. Like hair clippers. and she's going to go somewhere with a mirror, and she's going to G.I. Jane all her hair off. Or you can have Britney Spears as a reference point. You know, if you're not familiar with G.I. Jane, as many sadly are not, you know, it's a marvellous
Modern
piece of work,
masterpiece.
you know, absolutely. Demi was never better.
Okay, well, do you...
So yeah, Wendy is basically now caffeinated and shaving
Yeah,
all her hair
so you
off.
head down to the galley and you make yourself... There's always like a pot of coffee on the go. You also get the sense that this coffee is a little fresher than normal. You just think normally it's got that sort of lukewarm. It's just on that sort of the heating ring, but this one looks like it hasn't been made too long ago, and it hits the spot. Where do you go to? Do you go to the shower rooms, etc.?
Yeah, the showers, restrooms, something with a mirror.
Okay. And Wendy, you look at yourself. Of course, I don't know whether you all took actual showers or cleaned yourselves up before your rest. Everyone was kind of exhausted. I know you had the decontamination showers, but they're not exactly sort of... yes, that's what normal showers are like.
In space.
In space. So, you know, if you haven't, we can retcon it and say that you did clean yourself up.
Oh no, I obviously was put to bed.
Yeah.
So
you know, it's
then
dried on dirt. When you look at yourself in the mirror, it's probably a stark image at first when you see it. It's just all of it, you know, the dirt and the blood and everything. There's probably track marks from your tears, and you look pretty... It is the end of the descent. That is kind of how she looks right now. And then when
now with short hair, no hair.
Yeah, and then she begins...
And then kind of clean myself up, kind of.
Yeah. See?
Oh, someone's in the shower.
That might have been West Side Story that she was singing as well. How lovely.
So Wendy begins just cleaning herself up and trying to get her head right. Now, Blaze or Zam, each roll me a D10, just for the hell of it. I want to see who wakes up first.
I haven't even got my dice out. What is going on?
I've rolled an 8.
An 8. Okay, so unless...
Okay. Still looking for a D10. Oh my god, there we go.
Take your time.
Okay, looking for another one.
He was lured into a false sense of security when I said, it's going to be a calm one this week.
I know. Completely forgot. 3.
3. Okay, Zam, you wake up first.
Yo. Yeah.
And part of you notices that you probably hear with the systems and stuff, like in the engine, you know that someone is already sort of using, you know, the showers and stuff. There's that sort of hum.
I can hear that, yeah.
Yeah, someone's already sort of using it.
Yeah, somebody's using up all the hot water again. Yeah, he's gonna roll out of his hammock.
The wrong side.
Yeah, well, always the wrong side. Smack his head against a pipe.
You're nestled between 2 pipes.
Yeah, he'll do that for a bit, and then yeah, because he's going to be in his clothes, his like dirty, greasy gear.
Yeah.
So he's going to I don't know, grab.
It probably smells foul, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's not like engine grease. That you know what you were covered with.
Yeah. So he's gonna grab a towel and he's gonna go and make his way to the showers. So he's gonna step out of the engine room. He's gonna step over the body of the dock. Maybe.
Well.
Which way? No. Where is?
He's
dock?
further down the ship. You wouldn't see him.
He's further down.
He's further down.
He's not gonna see him then.
He's by the emergency.
Yeah.
He's out cold.
Yeah. He's gonna come out of the engine room.
That would be a dream sequence.
And he's gonna make his way to the ladder then, so you can climb up to
Okay,
go
yeah.
get a shower. He's
Yeah.
going to go have a shower.
He's got his
what
old
he's gonna
ragged,
do
dirty
is-
towel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to shower and wash his clothes.
Oh,
In
glad.
the shower with
Why
him.
did you pause then? What a dramatic put. He's going to wash his clothes. But when you
He's doing that by
he's going
actually
to
having a
wash
shower
his-
in his clothes.
He's not. No, he's not in his clothes.
Yeah,
He's going to take his clothes off.
But when
he's
you
gonna
open,
wash them,
yeah,
man.
when you because it's like
La, la,
a,
la, la, la.
with the showers and
I love
restrooms.
it.
Even though there is a certain amount of privacy there, but not too much. You know, when you
Yeah,
open the
just
door, you face to face with a clean and very different looking.
He's quite like bleary eyed. He's still a bit tired. So hey, Blaze, and then he's just going to get into the shower.
So you got a ringside seat. That's a poor choice. As Zam just gets into the shower, he doesn't even notice you, Wendy, and he begins cleaning up.
Start singing some Italian opera as he's.
If we think about 2 episodes ago, and I mean, what character development? While you're cleaning up, Blaze, you're the next to wake up.
Ooh!
I wake up in pain because of my leg. I go to. I hobble.
Keep it going, Gav. Keep it. We've lost him. We've lost him.
Back! Back!
I go to see if I can find the doc in the medical bay.
Okay. That noise, the first noise you make when you wake up. You head over to the medical bay, and you find the 3 new acquaintances all sat there. Like the smaller gentleman, the smaller older gentleman is still out of it. But the female, Sarah and Quill, are sort of they're kind of awake. Sarah looks like she's just woken up. Yes, and she looks at you and she's like, "Oh, do you know where Dr. Forrest is?"
I was going to ask you the same thing.
I don't know. He was here when we I just passed out from exhaustion, but I thought he'd come back in.
Oh, how long ago was it you saw him?
Well, it was before
I don't
we
know what's
fell
going on with my voice.
Yeah. Well, it was before we fell asleep, so I don't know how many hours that is. Was this tall fella? How tall is Blaze, by the way?
Oh, what was it, like 6'5"?
6'5",
6'8"?
yeah.
Something silly big.
And Quill is a similar sort of height. He's sort of going. Yeah, we weren't going to go looking for him because we don't know what this ship is or where we're going. So
Hang tight. Darcy!
Hello, Blaze. How can
Good
I
morning,
help?
Darcy. Where's Duck?
And there's a moment of like the spinning wheel. He seems to be near the emergency shuttle bay.
What's he doing there?
He seems to be asleep.
What?
Yes, he is unconscious. I do not believe he is dead.
That's good to know, Darcy. Okay, you guys, wait here. I'm gonna go get the duck. What he's up to, he'd be probably swimming at the bottom of a bottle.
Like,
Go find
walks
the
out and they're all like... And certainly you find the Doc flat on his back. There is a stun pistol.
Wake up!
There is a stun pistol on the floor next to him. But you look and the doors are all shut. Everything's shut. Everything's fine. He's just on his back, and
I think I fully believe that he's just been on a binge drink, so that's why I'm treating him like.
And he does. He smells a little bit like booze. He does smell a bit like booze.
Does he wake up? I've been hitting him this entire time.
After a couple of slaps, the Doc wakes up.
Yes. Stop. You can stop now. Please stop, for the love of God.
Your tail went off last night, huh?
Not exactly.
Well,
Okay.
the survivors, they're awake. And my leg, it's howling at me, Doc. I got any pain pills?
Come with me.
There we go.
I pick up the tranquilizer.
Yeah.
If Doc doesn't,
Yeah, I don't.
I pick it up. He's into some weird shit.
Yeah. You have one last look at that emergency shuttle bay door before you head off, Doc, and head back to the med bay. Do you actually want some pain pills, Blaze?
Yes, please.
When we get to the med bay, the first thing that happens is Doc walks over to the cabinet where he keeps his whiskey. Takes a swig. He goes, right, painkillers, was it?
Yeah, that's right, Doc, if you don't mind.
Doctor, are you okay? It's
Yes, I'm fine. Here you go, Blaze, and I just give him one of the packs of 5.
Is that it?
Instructions are in there. Read them. Don't take them all at once. Blah 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 blah.
Okay, cheers, Doc.
I go get coffee in the galley.
But I was going to say Zam's going to be like coming out, the slap of his wet feet as he with his towel around him as he's making his way to the galley to get some breakfast.
yes. You catch up with
Like a seal in San Francisco.
Yeah.
leaving.
Sea line.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Wendy's. Are you in the galley? Have you headed back to the galley, or what's Wendy doing when she's?
Wendy has gone. Where would be a good place to go? She's probably back in her bunk room, but with the door open, and she's doing kind of pull-ups from the door frame to try and get some strength back into her shoulder.
As Zam wearily walks past, he's kind of like rubbing the stuff out of his eyes and goes, "Yeah, good work, Blaze."
And then you see Blaze walking behind Zam. Oh dear. And
Whoa, where did you come from? I thought you were in there doing reps or something.
You went to see the Doc about my leg. Come on, coffee's getting cold.
You should probably take it easy with all those like pull-ups and stuff. There's.
What?
Shut up. Give me some coffee.
in the med bay, the Doc is obviously, getting questioned from them. All 3 of these strangers are now. They're calmer, but they're still disorientated and they don't know what's going on. They're more lucid, but definitely you can tell, Doc, that it's different levels of it, but they're definitely scared. Mm-hmm. It's because they went to sleep and woke up, and this is still reality. And they certainly sort of question you about, like, what are they going to do? What do you tell them? They're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to stay here
until we can contact another ship to come and get you. Yes.
But, Dr. Forrest, you mean you're not going to take us home yourselves?
We're our ship's broken. The engines won't go faster than sublight speeds, and we'd all be long dead by the time this ship got back to Earth.
The bedside manner of this man. Sarah goes pale.
I suggest we all go and have some breakfast.
Yes, I must say I need to eat something, otherwise I'm going to throw up. And I haven't got anything to throw up, so it'll hurt. What do you serve on this vessel?
All the finest cuisine from around the world.
What does the chef do?
Oh, he's an expert. He does, if you want French, Italian, Thai, any breakfast you can imagine, that chef will do for you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, lead the way then, Doctor. Did you hear that? Marvellous. At least there's some ray of light.
Head out of Medbay, go left, all the way down to the end of the
corridor.
What,
you're not sure?
I will be along in a minute or two.
What, we're supposed to just wander around on a ship we don't know where... Really,
Darcy?
Yes, Doctor?
Can you show these fine people the way to the galley, please?
And the monitor sort of... and that green digital face, the smiley face that looks at them. Please, follow me. And it starts moving slowly across. Well, I've never seen anything like it.
As they leave, the Doc says, Sarah, could you wait a moment, please?
Okay. And as the other two head off.
Sarah, when you first saw me on the Icarus, you said you thought I was dead.
Yeah?
Who told you I was dead?
Well, your wife. I mean, I haven't had much to do with the rest of your family since Maddie.
No, it's fine. Just, thank you. You can... Gary's just down the hall.
Doctor. Thank you.
It's fine.
I don't know what's going to happen. And
No.
My husband.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
We're going to make out of this, right?
I hope so.
Okay. Have you got any more of those? I haven't got my... I had some medication on the other ship, and you haven't got any some of those. I've got a banging migraine.
Of course.
Thank you. Should I take these with food?
Give it an hour in between.
Okay. And there's a pause when she just looks at you and then wraps her arms around you.
The Doc doesn't quite know how to react, and after a few moments, just sort of gingerly, one hand reciprocates, but nervously, and then.
And there's definitely a soft sobbing a little bit before she's. Okay, well, I'll have to see you in the galley, wasn't it?
Yes, no, just be a few minutes.
Okay.
And then, as she leaves, he just goes and slumps in the chair at his desk.
Okay. And we cut back to the galley. ZAM BRAZEL.
ZAM BRAZEL in his towel.
In his towel.
Still
Quite, quite a picture.
Talking to Blaze and saying if the captain sends us on any more crazy missions like this, we should strike.
It's just the daily ZAM breakfast chat.
By the way, Zam, you're peeking out.
Yeah, I'm not looking at anything. I'm just gonna drink my coffee and eat some of this, whatever the hell this is. And he's gonna sit down at the table, legs apart.
Oh my god, I can see it all now.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hey, whoa, why did you grab some breakfast?
The coffee's lukewarm.
Oh. What? Yeah, this isn't a... Look,
I think there's some sausages over there if you want those.
There's a little one here.
And I point to Zam's crotch.
Well,
He doesn't notice. He's oblivious to the fact that his junk's on display.
it's a proper tabletop role-playing game now. This sort of nonsense.
Fucking tone whiplash here.
Roy doesn't seem to know, like, he doesn't understand what he is, but Quill seems a bit more... He takes the older gent sort of like, oh, thank you very much. And he sort of helps himself to the coffee, and he helps Roy sort of set up. And they're still in the sort of like white, you know, the Icarus branded sort of not pajamas, but that kind of get up. Wendy, are you still crossfitting?
No, so Wendy comes into the lounge, the galley area, and she's just sort of stands kind of almost to attention in a corner looking at everybody else but not saying anything, but just as if she's kind of watching and keeping guard, almost like very upright.
I think Zam's going to be just like shoveling food into his mouth, and he's going to see Wendy and he's just going to like swallow it, and it's going to go down the wrong pipe bit. What the hell have you done to your hair?
Show some respect. Put it away.
What away? I'm trying to put it away, but you know.
Blaze, you now see that Wendy has the military cut and posture.
I like the new look.
Some might call it an old look. Revisited.
And Quill,
Welcome back.
Quill turns to you and says, "Do you want some coffee?"
Thank you. Yes.
And he goes about like making a coffee for you, and there's a moment of what is going on before Sarah Madigan turns up. She's sort of very sheepishly sort of morning, everyone.
Morning.
Oh. No, I'll just have toast. I no sausage for me.
That sausage is pretty good. Makes a change in this place.
God damn it, Sam.
Oh, is that coffee? Yeah, great, thanks. There's definitely a certain atmosphere around. But they, as soon as the food sort of comes out, they're eating. It's like they haven't had anything since they woke up from cryo sleep, and you know from experience that the body's just completely empty. You just need fuel, and they just, you know, when they start eating, like Sarah's a little bit nervous, sort of, you know, she's very sheepish, but then all of a sudden she just starts wolfing down food, and they're all sort of like, "Oh, wonderful scrambled eggs," and then, like, you know, bits coming out of his mouth. What have I done? Before Doc, are you staying in the med bay?
No, he does turn up
He
a
does
few
turn
minutes
up.
later.
Okay.
just makes a coffee and gets a small plate of food, and then
Yeah.
Zam, your little fella's on display.
Yeah, what? Oh, God. Whoa. Hey. Just closes his legs. Somebody could have said something.
That, like, Sarah sort of chuckles a little bit, and you have to pull a couple of the chairs. Normally there aren't that many chairs for this many people around this table, so you got to pull a couple from the sort of lounge sort of area. But everyone's sitting down and having something to eat. What was that?
I'll stand.
You're standing. Are you
Yeah.
having anything to eat?
Coffee.
Coffee. Eating coffee.
Bad coffee.
Yeah, and Wendy's just stood there, almost watching over you all, before Captain Austin appears and steps down into the galley, and immediately she looks like she hasn't slept, and she's like, she goes to grab some coffee, but it's sort of empty because everyone's had a cup. She's like, oh, god damn it. And she starts, how y'all doing?
Yeah, I had a pretty good night's sleep, thanks, Captain. He's still, like, shoveling food in.
It's back out, Sam.
Oh, shit.
God,
Sorry. Yeah.
God damn it. Brazel. Put the mouse back in the house.
What do you care?
Well, we have guests. Speaking of which, how...
Yeah, it ain't nothing none of them seen before.
And the rest of you can see her, like... Even though Zam's just not... he's not paying attention, that Captain sort of looks at him like... and she speaks to the new acquaintances, make sure they're all okay. I think we're going to need to get you all set up in some bunks of some kind. I need to talk to the rest of these guys in a moment, so we'll get you all settled. But for now, just enjoy the food. But don't. I know you're hungry, but just don't have too much right now. That's all I gotta say. Help yourself to the coffee. And the rest of y'all, can I have a word with you in the planning room? But I mean, first, Zam, put some clothes on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
He just whips off the towel. He's got a clothes part next to us. He just whips off the towel and just starts dressing.
In front of everyone.
Yeah.
Scrambled egg.
Really, Brazel? Yeah.
We have breakfast.
Yeah, more for me. Hey.
Well. Anyway, now that he's dressed, Wendy, you
Yes, ma'am.
you cut your hair. You okay? Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the captain looks at the rest of you like,
Ooh.
what? Okay.
That's good. She looks sharp.
Yeah, it suits you. It suits you, honey. How's the arm feeling? Are you okay?
It's good. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I need another coffee. She pours herself another coffee. Right. Okay. Let's go have a little talk. She heads off into the planning room. And you all sit around the table, or does Wendy stand?
Wendy will stand unless instructed otherwise.
Yeah. And sure enough, the Captain Austin's like, take a seat, guys. Did any of y'all manage to get any sleep last night?
Yeah, I slept pretty good.
Not too bad.
What about you, Wendy?
It was
Honey?
playing up.
Well,
Yes, ma'am. I slept as well as can be expected, ma'am.
are you sure you're okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What's your briefing for this morning?
Okay. Well, I suppose we better get right to it. And Blaze, the leg's okay, yeah?
Yeah, Doc gave me some pills.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Well, just be careful popping those pills, Blaze.
Oh, yeah, fine.
Okay. Hang on. Okay, right. So, did you pop pills when the doc gave them to you? Or are you popping them now?
Oh, I will have popped one at breakfast, and this is my 7th. No. this
Pack
will
of
be my
5.
second.
It's like-
You popped one at breakfast.
Correct.
Okay. And you're popping one now,
Correct.
which wasn't that long. However, when you pop them, you immediately restore 1d10 health. So roll a d10.
5, but that just only need to repair 1. So.
Yeah. And lowers your stress by 1.
Oh, well. We're on 13, baby.
Okay. So you pop another one?
Yeah.
13.
You're gonna pop another one.
Yeah.
Same thing again, roll a d10.
But I don't. There's no health to.
Oh right, okay. Well,
I'm fully healed.
reduce your
off my
stress.
leg.
Reduce your stress by 1.
Yep.
And then make me a body
Sorry, that
save.
is, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Oh god.
This isn't for stress.
90. That's 90. It's a fail. It's a definite fail.
Good to know. Okay.
Don't like it when he does that.
You immediately just the sting in your leg sort of dies away, and you're just feeling better. And these pain pills, they don't have a swimmy effect like the stim packs. Immediately, it's just like an adrenaline shot. This is more sort of, just getting rid of the pain. As the captain goes on, so I know they said they were doing okay, all things considered, but how are our new guests doing?
Utterly traumatized.
Well, that's understandable. Yeah, we're gonna have to set them up. As I told them, we're gonna have to set them up with bunks, and they can't. I know not everyone can sleep like you can, Zam, next to an engine. So some people need an actual bed.
Yeah, it's fine. I got my space in the engine room. One of them can have my bug.
Okay, so somebody make a note. We need to clean Zam's bunk before anyone goes in it. Also, they had quite an appetite. I know that because they just woke up from cryo. But we're gonna have to make sure that they don't eat. They got to be careful what they eat because we're gonna have to do some rationing at some point. So just keep an eye on them. We don't want anyone.
Captain, if I may,
Yes,
we
Wendy.
could restrict them to their quarters and bring their meals to them in set rations so that we can manage, everything
Honey, we can't.
perfectly.
We can't treat them like prisoners. We just. What, are you seriously telling me we just lock them up and then
We
feed
know
them?
where they were and what they were doing.
Well, I mean, it's crazy as it sounds now.
And it, it keeps us safe from whatever they might.
But how do you think
thinking.
these people are going to take that? These are the high polloi. These are. How would you react to being taking off a ship like that and then being told you're not allowed to go anywhere, and by the way, here's your grits.
If that was what was required for the mission, then
They're
that
not soldiers, Wendy.
Wendy,
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
even more of a reason to lock them up. They're a risk.
Captain,
yes.
if I may, we got some empty cryopods. What about we put them into hypersleep?
Now,
Wait, we don't need to feed them.
there's a couple of issues. I know ZAM said this before. There are a couple of issues we may have with that. In the long run, I do not know how long these people are going to be with us. They have only just been pulled out of a cryo sleep. Doc, what kind of effect would that have on someone being put straight back in again?
Recommendation is a week between cryosleeps, but these people's mental state as well. They came out of cryosleep and into whatever the hell that was. It could be some associations. They won't want to go back in, and we can't force them.
No. What the hell was that? Look, Wendy, we can't force these people to do anything.
I mean, for the good of the ship. For the mission.
Right now, we gotta think about the good of all of the living souls aboard this ship. We just need to get... Well, at the very least, then they can't go into cryo for a week minimum. Doctor's orders. So in that time, we're gonna have to have them here with us. And in the long run,
cryosleep.
What was that, Doc?
Yeah, I'll go to cryosleep.
Oh, do not tempt me, Brazel. Do not tempt me. If I did not need you by those engines, by God, I'd have you and your wandering pinky in one of those pods before the end of the day.
They're all grown-ups.
Grown-ups have nightmares, like anyone else, Sam.
Yeah, they want to get over themselves.
And I mean, we've been on this ship. We've been on this ship for over a year, and why do you insist on walking around in just that goddamn towel?
It's freeing. I'm, drying it,
Get a bigger towel.
This towel's lasted me 17 years.
Have you seen the
It's
towel,
a wedding
Sam?
present.
The towel has not lasted,
Don't
Sam.
go there, Wendy. Don't go there.
Anyway, look.
It does say his on it. I had to fight hard to get this towel.
Look. In the long run, we may have a problem. We've got 10 cryopods on this ship. And that may have been okay if we only had 1 or 2 of those people on board. But we've got 3 new faces. We can't, even if we get that jump drive fixed, we can't jump. A living person is recommended not to go through a hyper jump.
What about if we keep the 2 young'uns and shoot the old guy into space?
What the fuck, Sam?
I'm just kidding, Captain. Come on.
She looks to Wendy.
I mean, he does eat a lot.
Hey, no, Wendy, I was just kidding, we'd dial it back a bit, yeah? With the death stare and the buzz cut.
Just being rational.
Oh, God damn it.
What would your starfish god say to all this,
Zam,
Yeah?
shut your damn hole.
God damn it. Putting up with this crap all the time.
Look,
When are you going to send us on our next suicide mission, Cap?
right now, I might get Wendy to pop a cap in your ass. How do you feel about that?
A hell of a lot safer than what you've been sending us so far.
Was that an order, Captain?
No, Wendy, I'm just, it's good to know you're there if I need you.
Always,
To
Captain.
do it.
Yeah, get in line.
Look, I've had absolutely no sleep, and it's not going to do us any good being in each other's throats right now. And I've been, I got a few things to catch you up on. And that's where we're going to go to break.
Is this episode called Zam's Wandering Pinky?
Yes.
We know what the thumbnail's going to be.
What do they do?
Third album of
What
progressive rock band such and such in 1974.
I first encountered Sam's Wandering Pinky in a car boot sale in Rill.
Well, okay, join us back here in 5 minutes, where I try to get the train back on the tracks and fail horribly. But until then, enjoy the break. I will. Hey everybody, Vince here, Game Warden and General Mischief Maker when it comes to the Safe Space show. Just wanted to say, we hope you're enjoying the show so far, and if you want to find out more about the other podcasts and general news that we have on this network, then why don't you follow us on social media. On Twitter, we're at LawbreakerPod, and you can follow us on Instagram at Lawbreaker Radio. Just to be clear, that's LORE Breaker Radio. But follow us there. We'll be sure to follow back and interact with the community and let you know a bit more about what's upcoming on the Lawbreaker Radio network. But I think without further ado, enough of me. Let's get back to the show. And welcome back. So, this ragtag crew of junkers, ex-military, and Lord knows what. I don't know how to describe Zam. That's why he's a legend. Sat around with the captain, and she's sort of looking at them. She looks tired. She does look, looks like she needs a good night's sleep, but she looks to you all. Okay, gang, now here's the situation as it stands. Looks like that ship isn't following us any longer. It was for a time, and I pushed the engines harder for longer than I'd like, but at some point it slowed down and changed its course. It was like it just lost interest or something. Jesus, I can't believe I'm talking about this thing like it's an actual living being. Anyway, we've got its signature in our database, and I got Darcy scanning as far as he can. So if there's any peep of this thing anywhere near us, we're going to know immediately. Okay? So you don't need to have sleepless nights for days. We've got our eyes open on this. I managed to get through to Rooster. I spent all night trying to do that, and updated him on everything that's been happening and what you told me. That relay, Dick, Icarus, the hyperdrive, just all of it. Suffice to say, he thought I lost my fucking mind at first. But I let him know in no uncertain terms that he had inadvertently dropped us into a shitstorm, and he better do whatever he can to help us out. Also, he owes me a few favors, so it seemed like the right time to collect. She takes a long swig of the coffee and empties it. Now, we discussed it, and as far as I can tell, we've been through it, and we got a couple of options. But with what y'all have been through, I wanted talk it through with you first and see what you think we should do. Now, it's going to take a while, but he can get a Gibbous crew out here with a replacement drive coil and patch us up. Now, that's no small thing, especially with where we are right now on the ass end of space. It also means I'm probably going to have some unpleasant conversations with management when we get home, but I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Anyway, with getting everything in place, traveling, all else, it's going to take them at least a month and a half to get here. And well, we got two choices. First, we power down the engines and we sit where we are right now and wait for them to come to us. Now, we'll be saving fuel and power, and we can concentrate on rationing and conserving what we can until then. And try to stop our new guests eating us out of house and home at the same time. Yes, Wendy, don't look at me like that. I know what you'd like to do, and I've taken it on board. Our second choice is a little bit different. In this system, there's a planet called Cassius Prime, which is about a month's travel from where we are right now. It's one of those explore surveyor sites. You know the drill. We've been in those places before and junked their stuff before, but this is ongoing. This is a full workers colony that's been established there. It's got all that they need. We can head there, park up, get some rest, and wait for our guys to come and fix Susie up while we're on that planet. Now, I don't know which one of y'all want to do what, so, and I'm hanging on right now, so what do you think we should do?
I say we head for the planet.
Can we call ahead and make sure everybody's alive and not being eaten by some kind of like techno-organic weird crap?
That is a good idea.
I begrudgingly agree with them.
Yes, I will. Yeah, if you want to head to Cassius, then I will make sure that they'll know we're coming, and we'll make sure that there's nothing untoward there. As far as I know, it's just a miners' colony. But like I say, I thought it was just a satellite fucking relay, and look where that got us.
Yeah, we were supposed to be headed to a lovely cruise ship as well.
Exactly. So, yeah, I fully understand and support the fact that we are in some weird fucking shit right now. So, yeah, we will call forward, make sure everything's good, make sure they know we're going to be there. I mean, I would need to get in contact with them anyway to make sure we can land safely. Park up and see what they got there. But, heck, they may even have beds for us. But that's what you want to do. I can contact Rooster. He can get everything. He can get everything moving.
Yeah, I don't trust Rooster.
Rooster's fine. He's just it's the people above you want to.
No offense, Captain, but Rooster did sort of send us to almost die twice.
Well, you got a point. When we get home, I'm certainly going to have a word or two with him about that. So, Doc, you got a vote for Cassius? Anyone else?
Cassius has got my vote. I don't trust waiting in space for Rooster to come through.
That's another valid point.
We'll be setting ducks.
Last thing we want is that Icarus coming back for us. We probably best keep moving.
Yeah. That's a
and
good
go
point.
see what kind of suicide mission is waiting for us at Cassius Prime.
There's no goddamn mission, Zam. You're sounding like Wendy. Right now, I'm just trying to find a
I am right here.
But do you think it's a mission, honey?
I think if a ranking officer, such as a captain, instructs us to go somewhere and do something, that is a mission.
Mate, look,
And we
I
will
know I'm
fulfill
captain
it.
of this ship, Wendy, but I value your opinion. What do you think we should do?
I'm not sure I understand the question, Captain.
Jeez.
Well, soldier, do we wait here, or do we head to the planet?
Action is always better than inaction, Captain.
Hoorah!
She looks at Blaze in a don't encourage her. Well then, that's settled. It seems like we've got some travel ahead. Now, so it's going to be about a month or so for us to get there. Now, with the cargo we have right now, it's going to weigh us down. Not to mention eating up fuel we could use later. I've been doing the math, and I think I can get us to the planet in 3 weeks. But in order to do that, we're going to have to ditch some of the cargo. Now, before you say anything, I know those are credits you've worked hard to earn. So if you don't want to do that, I understand, and we'll keep going as is. But the option's there. If you want to get there a little bit faster, we'll just have to open the trunk and let loose some of the junk.
Captain, I really couldn't give a shit about the junk.
This episode's all about junk, it seems. In all its forms.
I value my ass more than that junk.
Now, I must say, Zam, that does surprise me. You always struck me as a company man.
After what I've been through, company can go swivel.
Swivel indeed. Blaze? Wendy?
Hey, let's jettison the junk.
Okay.
Get there quicker.
So we can, I think if we get rid of half of that cargo that we're carrying right now, that'll be all we need. We don't have to lose all of it, so we won't be completely penniless when we get home. But I'm going to make sure that we get home. So with that in mind, I'll go make the arrangements, and the rest of y'all can get to work getting that cargo out into space, and then making things as comfortable as they can be for the trip to the planet. Okay?
Yes, Captain.
Anyway, let's just get on with it. I need to make this call, and I need some shut-eye. So, and with that, Captain makes another coffee and heads back up to the bridge. And you have made your choice to head to Cassius Prime. But in the meantime, there's going to be a few days. There's going to be weeks leading up to this. And that means downtime, people. And the possibility to maybe reduce some stress, level up, that Mothership possibly does. But it's not just a case of, I would like to do this. Yes, you get another level. Of course the players need to talk through it and think of novel ways, and so it works narratively, etc. So over the next 3 weeks, you can get what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your guests first off? And at this point, with this downtime, we'll get into the mechanics of like doing some rolls and seeing if we can de-stress as well. If there's any moment, if there's any scenes, if you want to take a moment between a different character or have a conversation, go for it. This is your time. But this is over the period of travel from now on. Downtime, as they say.
Downtime Abbey. Terrible joke. Don't laugh. Can I have a word with Wendy?
Are you going to do that pretty... This happens pretty soon after...
Yeah. Once we've all sort of dispersed.
Yeah.
Wherever Wendy goes. Where are you, Wendy?
Wendy is going to go down to the cargo hold, and start sorting. She's decluttering the cargo, basically, to kind of go, actually, what would be the best value to keep, the good stuff to keep, rather than the shit to throw out into space.
Yeah. Straight into the mission.
Sort of tagging it and identifying and tagging it, yeah. Because these are huge,
all business. And if you see her going past where her the space where her shrine was, her temple was, she's just straight past it. Maybe even walking a little bit faster past that room.
And this cargo, these are huge. You imagine junkers, when they turn the cars into cubes. It's vast bits like that made of all kind of stuff, and so you can tag it. And these things have to be you have to use an auto loader in order to move them. So, but Wendy's just when you find a blaze, Wendy is just tagging it and identifying it.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's not in the loader.
No, she's not in the. She's not in the loader, right?
What?
Yeah.
It's over there.
Yeah.
Wendy, can I have a quick word? I won't keep you long.
Sure.
I'm not really sure what's going on with you at the moment, but
I'm sorting the cargo.
Yes. But your mural effigy thing, I discovered something in it.
It's, it was just nonsense thinking. There's nothing in it at all. It's not true. I mean, God is not an octopus, and an octopus is not God. I mean,
Agreed.
There's nothing in it at all.
Oh, no. I meant literally. I'm trying to be coy. I found the smart rifle.
I'll try and whisper that.
I just imagine that echoing off everything in this room. And it's just going, smart rifle! Like Ian McKellen just boomed it out.
The SK-109. But I've hidden it away. And I assumed you didn't want anyone knowing about it. So I've marked it. It's in one of the crates. It's marked with a little mouse.
Thank you.
It seemed important.
It's who I am.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Thick fencing.
Okay, so what are we looking at here?
And then I help Wendy with the cataloguing.
Okay. Zam, while they're doing this, how are you going to get involved eventually? I would imagine it would take a couple of days in order to sort of organise this whole thing. And
yeah, I'll give him a hand. Yeah.
So
I wasn't there for that conversation.
You weren't there for that conversation.
Fucking
No, you wouldn't have been there for that conversation. But you may have been, for instance, moving around in the loader, because there is some cargo that was also in the bay as well. Now, so, and you can set this up to just jettison this out. You can either put stuff. Now, it might be a bit tricky to put it in the airlock. How do you want to do it? Do you just want to throw it out the back?
Well, first off,
Go on.
is there any way we could put something explosive in it? So that if the Icarus comes for scrap,
Ooh,
it'll eat it and
like a snack bomb for
yeah.
techno blah 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 hideousness.
Do we have anything that's
I don't know.
big combustible?
We don't want to put our power cells in there because we need those.
But there may be things that you could.
You're a soldier. You should have something explosive, right?
Only my wit and personality.
Yeah, shit.
We could put them out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll snack on that.
Zam, if you want to do this, if you're thinking about doing this, I'd say make an intellect check. You don't have explosives or anything like that, do you? So it'd just be a straight roll. This is a thought process.
I mean,
so
I'm only asking the question. Yeah. You know?
If you want to think about
intellect,
I will say it won't necessarily incur stress because you're just thinking about it.
Can I add my jury rigging?
Well, now jury rigging is more about repair using only
Okay.
materials at hand. So you would need explosives to really sort of figure out where to do it. So it's just a straight roll.
Oh, I've got a 00 with a 4.
So you got 4.
4.
4.
Yeah, I got a 4.
You think you might be able to, not using power cells, but there may be some equipment that you could fashion together. You could make something like a piece of equipment that is highly unstable. It's not like not a bomb because you don't know how to make bombs, but you certainly know how machinery works, and you could possibly make something that, if something was to come into contact with it, there would be a reaction.
We could probably destabilize it if it tries to eat it.
If you want to do this, obviously you'd have to spend a bit of time identifying bits to use. So this would be time that you wouldn't be able to help the others because you would need to figure out how to do this. And if you wanted to do this, there would then be a jury rigging roll.
Yeah.
So how many do you want to put on? How many do you want to do? You're gonna be sending a whole load of these big blocks out, but it would take forever to do it to all of them. But you can.
Yeah, I think maybe 2 or 3, maybe.
Yeah. So Zam has put the question: should we do this?
You know what you're doing?
Kind of.
You're not gonna blow half the ship away.
Yeah, be outside the ship, we'll be fine. As long as we don't take the junk back in. Once it's out, it's out.
Getting it out that I'm concerned about.
So how do you want to do this, Zam? If you're going to commit to this, are you going to do it in the ship and then move the cargo out, or are you going to move the cargo to a certain point, do it, and then push them out? What's the? Here I am throwing options at you, but
I think we get the cargo to the where's the airlock that we're checking it out of?
now
Or is it just going? Are we just going to lower the ramp?
you could get more if you did the ramp. Of course, at that point, if you wanted to do it in the cargo bay, you would need to strap everything down, and you need to be suited up if you chose to do that. But it would literally the ramp would just open, and then it would just all fly at the back. Yeah.
But do we
So
not
if we
need to
did
move the APC?
You would need to move the APC,
Well, it'll be
which is
strapped
quite
up.
big on the map I've given you. But there would be enough room for it to sort of move over, possibly.
we got a internal crane that we could just lift it up?
That's a great idea. Yes, you do.
We'll just lift it up.
That happens. That's the thing now. Yeah.
Right, we hoist that.
Yeah.
Hey, where did this internal crane come from?
Yeah. that whole
Been there
sort
the entire time.
I never noticed it.
that whole sort of aliens thing where it's just moving the equipment. You could lift it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I figure we rig it when it's ready to go.
Okay. So do you want to use the normal airlocks, which would take more trips, or you want to do the cargo? What is the doc doing? Is the doc just leaving? They're just like...
Oh, he's nowhere near this.
Yeah.
Well, I figure we're at least going to make sure the captain's okay with it.
Yeah, yeah. And she would sort of say, just make sure she understands exactly where you're coming from, but don't blow my ship up, or I'll kill you. That kind of thing. Yeah.
If the ship blows up and he's in the cargo bay, it's he's not going to have a chance to
Bring
kill
you back to life to kill you.
Yeah.
Why do I have these stupid ideas?
Because it's a tabletop game. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, well, I figure we'll do it in the cargo bay.
Okay.
And then we'll just eject it all out into space in one go there.
Yeah. So, Doc, you don't see the rest of your crew for a bit because they are focused on this for like days. They're planning, they're identifying things, they're moving. So you certainly hear there's a lot of like industrial equipment moving around, you know, just downstairs, and like certainly they're moving the APC and they're using the lift and they're getting everything together.
I don't really see them for a few days.
No.
But that is what the doc finds relaxing.
And it does it does give you some days with your new guests. So if you want to spend any time with anyone or talk to anyone or make sure
he would spend some time with Sarah and have a few conversations there. Asking about the last time maybe she had spoken to his wife, because it's probably more recent than he has.
Yeah. That was a sort of a suit and tie. It was like a gala that they just briefly met. They bumped into one another. Your wife, who is you discover has started dating someone else. That is when you discover she's started dating not a politician, but someone who's definitely in those sort of circles, works within some of the bigger corporations, who seems nice enough, but you only briefly came up, and your wife shut it down immediately, saying like that you passed away, and that was it was a small interaction, but that was all she had, and they wished each other well, and then that's also when you find out that Sarah opens up about her husband, like Flint, who worked for one of their companies, but he was just he worked his way up to a decent position. He was a nice bloke, and they had a loving relationship. And this was Sarah had a few sort of, she had a tough couple of years for personal reasons, and he was treating her to this. He managed to get tickets to this luxury cruise liner. But then that's as far as she gets before she just starts.
Yeah.
She just loses it. Yeah, every time. So it's almost like you both have these moments that whenever you talk, there's a moment where both of you just sort of...
And then he wouldn't bring it up in the first few conversations, but there would come a point where he would ask if she had, when the last time she'd spoken to Maddie was.
And she would say she saw her before she went off on her surveying mission, and she was hugely excited about what they were going to do. She couldn't tell Sarah about it, but they had one of those nights on their colony, on the beach. You know, just they had a party, a farewell party, and things like that. And yeah, she just remembered that Maddie was just hopeful, and that was the last thing. One of the last things Maddie said to her was, "Never stop looking up, because I'll be looking down." And that's the last thing you know about that.
And then the dog's at the end of that, he just makes his excuses and goes and sits on his own for a bit.
In the cargo bay, there are blocks, huge blocks, stacked up on the cargo lift. There are 3 crew members in vac suits. Everything is shut down and made sure everything's locked up. And you're only communicating with each other over the short-range comms. But Zam, now's the chance. One of you has to open up. Zam's got to go and do this. You don't have to sort of do it. It's not like he has to do it and then run away. But you can. I would like to give you. I would like you to give me. How many of these did you want to do, Zam?
3.
3. Okay, then it's only going to be 1 check.
Yeah.
If you were going to be greedy, if you were going to do over 5, then it's going to be probably, I believe it would be an intellect check. But with your jury rigging, if you've got anything else...
I got jury rigging, I've got industrial equipment, and I've got mechanical repair. And I think I've got
Are we
advantage.
technically in 0G?
You're in 0G. You will be in 0G. Yeah, because it's all.
But I can add 0G and jury rigging. What do you feel about industrial equipment?
What equipment are you going to use? Any industrial equipment to make the things that?
Not anything massively industrial. I don't think.
So it could be mechanical. I will allow mechanical repair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're trying to repair something badly. It's almost like you're fixing a circuit, and then going, here you go, your plug works, and then someone presses it, and then it goes off. So make an intellect check with what have you got to beat?
So hang on. So 45, and then you said I can add my 0G and my jury rigging, yeah.
Yeah, and your mechanical repair.
And my mechanical repair. So I've got to get lower than an 80.
Maybe I was too generous, but I'm sticking with it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm totally sure.
I should have advantage as well, yeah, considering I've got 2 able-bodied military experts helping me.
Don't push your luck.
Oh, come on, you know this is going to go 88 now.
Yeah. But remember, and this is something that I don't know if you're going to get this now. This is something we didn't factor in before. If you get a 99, that's a critical fail. If you get 100, 100 is always a critical success. Something I got wrong.
Get 100.
Yeah. So if you get 100,
then. Do you want me to take a picture of this?
What did you get?
00 and a 0.
That's 100.
I can take a picture of it.
Take a picture. Look! I want to take a picture purely for the social media afterwards. We're gonna post this for everyone to see.
That is incredible.
That is amazing.
I love it.
That is amazing. You got nothing but zeros. That is unbelievable. And also a good reason why I looked up the correct rule, because now it's a good thing instead of a very, very bad thing.
Right, so yeah, in the WhatsApp now, you can see the...
I'm looking at this right now.
So...
That's just Zam's Willy. What have you...
Oh, wrong picture.
This is ZAM BRAZEL.
Oh my god.
Oh god. That is amazing. This is why you play tabletop role playing games, people.
Nice.
Because
Nice space dice as well.
that moment, that might be one of the moments of the season.
Wow.
Yeah, it is one of the few times ZAM BRAZEL goes quiet. He's concentrating.
Clang, clang.
Yeah, he's concentrating, and he's just sort
He's
of.
got a lot of beef with this ship.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like he's just focused. It's a focus that you haven't seen on him before. And yeah, you rig these things if they're floating in space and anything bumps into them, there's going to be a hell of a bang. It's not conventional. It's not like a mine. It's not going to but it'll knock some teeth out, let's say. And when everything's all said and done, everyone gets ready, presses the button, and sure enough, half of the cargo that's on this ship, and therefore half of your profits, go flying out into space behind the O'Brien.
Sam's going to salute it as it goes out.
He's with two military people, and he's the one.
Kill that son of a bitch for me.
And you successfully, you absolutely smashed it. And so, the ship is a bit lighter, and sure enough, things move at a bit more of a pace. So now we're going to do a little bit to see if over these next couple of weeks, see how the effects of, once things have settled down, how do the crew get over this? How do they fortify themselves in mind, body and spirit? That sounded a bit weird, but so over the next few weeks, I'm going to count this because this is a bit of a homebrew campaign, and we're playing a little fast and loose, taking some of their elements and just turn them on their axis a little bit. Shore leave in Mothership is something that when players survive these horrible encounters, and certainly like the dock, they've got a lot of stress, that stress can be used to level up your character in a certain way. If you have a moment to just stop and get your head right and just chill out and spend some time on sorting yourself out, you can turn those stress points into possible save points. Although for this game, I might even let them add to their stats. We'll see how well they do. With that in mind, there is a cost to it. It's not like you can just sort of say, I've got 20 stress, I'm going to spend that on this. Rolls have to be made, and certainly there is a monetary cost. And depending on what they choose to do this, we'll factor that in. They all do have money in their accounts, so they've all got little numbers that they can work away at, and we'll see. Okay, over these next 3 weeks, I would say it's probably going to be a good half a week to a week doing what you just did. So we've got 2.5 weeks. Okay. Now, what are the crew going to do now? Are they going to slow down? Are they going to stop? How are they going to focus their mind? There are a few. We're treating the O'Brien itself. It's almost like a port in itself. That's the way I've treated this. And ports have certain class levels, and depending on those class levels, the cost changes. For instance, if you stayed in a luxury cruise liner that isn't trying to kill you, it will cost more, but it might reduce more stress. Whereas if you stayed in a hostel on a criminal underworld, it's probably going to be cheaper, but it's not going to reduce that much stress. Those sort of things. For this, the O'Brien is considered a B class port, which is usually blue collar industrial stations and large scale military installations. and it's kind of industrial, which is why I class the O'Brien as like that. It's just like a living. Well, not a living. No, that was the Icarus. It's like an ongoing sort of vessel. There are a few things you can do. Obviously, the ship itself also has a comfort level, which I have given it. So when the crew have taken a comfort rest as well before to see if they can do some stress. So with shore leave, you have relax. You can relax. You can treat yourself for a certain ailment or condition. And there's also healthcare. There's ongoing healthcare. Obviously, the crew have been beaten up a little bit, and it's going to take them I would say, it's going to take them that time with ongoing treatment with the doctor to get patched up, make sure everything's all right. So for ease of the game, to just keep us going, I would say in this time, you would get rid of you as long as you're constantly seeing the doctor, making sure everything's okay. Over those 3 weeks, we'll get you back up to what you're supposed to be. Okay? Now, there is a cost to this. There will be a cost to this. And the cost would essentially be, the way I factor it in is like, the doc's giving you pills, the doc's giving you treatment. These things are going to cost money, so therefore they will sort of accumulate. For these weeks, now it says in a B-class port. Ooh. Actually, B-class is pretty good. 2 wounds healed per week at 2,000 credits each week. So, I would say in the 2 weeks, it would probably be 3.5, 4 grand. 4,000 credits if you want to get up to the top. It's money you don't have to spend.
The 1 wound.
Yeah. If you got the 1 wound, it would probably be 2,000 for you, Zam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll spend the 2,000.
Wendy would like physio, but no drugs.
Okay.
And not to heal all the way up.
Okay.
Because a little bit of pain is good.
Okay. Then I would say, did you lose a wound, Wendy?
No, I didn't lose a wound. I'm still on my first track.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do all those stupid things.
Yeah. With that, then, I'd probably say, because you're not going to, unless you want pain pills. Do you want pain pills and things like that? And we're not going to factor in the mechanical, but okay, just 1,000, just in general.
Okay.
1,000. Cool. Blaze, you got a hole in your leg, man.
Yeah, even though my health mechanically is fine.
Yeah. Do you want the same thing as Wendy? You could just sort of like just physio, make sure it's all right, make sure it's not infected and stuff like that.
And pain pills.
You want the pain pills as well? Okay.
Yeah. Whether there's pain or not.
Okay. How often do you pop these pain pills?
Oh. How many is in a pack, Doc? 5 in a pack. So...
Yeah. There's not an endless amount of pain pills.
Ooh. How long do they last?
They're essentially just, it's like immediate. I would imagine like a ibuprofen or
like...
yeah.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah, probably something like 6-8 hours, something like that. It's the future. It's probably 8 hours where you're not in pain.
And how much time's passed at this point?
This is over these the time it takes you to get the travel. Are you popping? Are you choosing to pop
for the 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Packet a week.
A packet?
No. Yeah, if that's available.
So you're taking like one a day.
Yeah, maybe 2.
Could you make me a body save?
Let's say 4 packets.
Would I necessarily give those to him?
Well, it's up to you. You would want that, but Doc, you got a decision to make. Before you give me the answer, Gav.
Yep.
Do you ask for these pain pills a lot?
If I pick my times when I know he's going to be drunkest, can that give me advantage?
Ooh.
Doc.
So I think the first 2 packs you just get. Third pack, if you get him when he's drunk, it takes some talking, but you get it. 4th pack, he wants to take a good look at your leg.
Ooh.
So he's a pack of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're giving him 20.
He's taking 2 a day.
Right, okay. Well, okay, you got the pills, Blaze. What did you get for that body save?
Alright. Do you want me to take a picture?
What is this? I mean, what is it? Oh, I mean, I might as well just call this dick pics. That's what this fucking episode's going to be called, isn't it? No. Why? What
He's in a box.
What did you get? Did you get 100?
Yes. Why do I?
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Send a picture to the group chat.
My God.
He fucking did. He fucking did.
He did. Okay, so...
I want to roll for something.
Everyone gets 100.
Hey.
You
just
get
broke
100.
Mothership.
You get 100.
God. Then you're not addicted. Somehow, some way, you are not addicted to these pain pills.
Oh, so you don't need to ask for any more because you don't want to.
Over this
Psychosomatic.
over this period of time, you don't go crazy with them. You know, if you're popping them like Skittles, you'd definitely be. But if you're 2 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 to sleep, you level out.
Yeah. All right, Doc, you can look at my leg. Yeah.
How's it doing?
I run full scans and everything.
I can't believe that. I honestly thought I'm going to get him addicted to pain pills. Right, okay. And Wendy, sorry to ask you, how much did I say your cost was?
1,000.
1,000. Well, it's probably going to be, with the pills, probably 3 for you, Blaze.
Yeah, it's not the NHS, is it?
Oh, if that's still a thing whenever you're watching this. Anyway,
Ooh.
our
government.
Yes, the Prime Minister this week is...
No!
My turn this week.
Okay, it's your turn, Doc. Obviously, your arm is badly hurt, so you're going to have to...
Yeah, I want to heal that one wound and my arm.
Okay.
Get back up to full.
Yeah. So, what did I say it was? Did I say 2,000 a week?
Yeah.
So probably 4K, I would imagine, because you had quite a nasty wound on your arm, so you're going to have to...
It's just the one wound, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But also,
That's all
as
right.
well, you're disinfecting it. You're taking pain pills yourself, but you're certainly not taking them with booze.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So we're getting them healed up. Now we're going to see how...
Sorry, just quickly.
Go on.
That would mean I have 0 stress at the end of this as well, because of the pills and the amount I've taken.
Minimum stress you can have is 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
Oh God, that is a... I'm gonna have to think about. There has to be some. I mean, if you got zero stress, it just means you won't be able to spend that stress to level up anything.
I am going to say that with the doctor, 2 pills, so I'm going down to 18 stress while I was disinfecting the arm and everything.
Yeah.
It's just nice to not be on 20 anymore.
Yeah. But I noticed, PJ, you kept some stress in the bag there for potentially what can happen next.
Also, I don't want to get addicted.
Who would want that?
Rise up, mate.
Okay, so over these 3 weeks, on board the O'Brien, this strange kind of shore leave. What are you guys doing? You can do several different things here. I keep losing my page. I keep looking at different things. So I was like, he's going to get addicted, and I completely lost my page.
I did not get addicted.
Yeah, no,
Feel the joy. He's going to get addicted.
Yeah.
That's still somebody who wants to look after us.
Yeah. So, on shore leave, there's several different things you can do. Like I say, we've done the healthcare. There's treatment and relaxation. Treatment is obviously maybe for some of those conditions that our players are collecting, like Pokemon.
Yes, please. I want treatment.
How? This whole thing is going to count as one shore leave. Now, when you seek treatment, as it says in the book, get some help for the nightmares that have been keeping you up and the shakes that won't go away ever since that last impact. Normally it takes 3 shore leaves to remove 1 permanent condition. That's not normally what it would take. But after what I put my players through, I'm not going to make them do this 3 times in order to get rid of 1. Okay? But the treatment, you're going to have to tell me, how do you go about this treatment? You're going to have to essentially convince me, how do you go about dealing with the issues you have? And they can relate to whatever that particular issue is. You know, there is, and I'm pretty sure I told the players off air that the ship Darcy has a program. It has a sort of a therapist module installed in it, which is always very private, but they can have a one-to-one session with this thing. You can talk it out. That's one way of doing it. Or, you know, they could find other ways. It's up to the players. Now, 3 of these players have conditions. Let's start with Wendy. How do you want to feel better, Wendy? How is which? I will allow 1 condition to go on this particular journey if you concentrate on it. Which one would you like to lose?
So of my 4, I have a plan. I don't want to be a coward.
Okay.
Because that involved not doing combat. That involved running away from combat. And
Okay.
This is Wendy.
Yeah.
This isn't even Wendy.
Okay.
Anymore.
Okay. Oh, this isn't Wendy anymore. Story. How does that manifest? How does she go about this?
Wendy goes about this by basically trying to recreate basic training from Marine days by, you know, running around the ship, practicing stuff. She goes and finds all the weapons, don't worry, in the thing to kind of like clean them and do drills, maybe some marching.
Can I help her?
Yeah.
Like a drill sergeant.
Blaze.
Pick those feet up, soldier.
Interesting. Blaze, you have a condition, don't you? When
Yeah,
you see
also cowardice.
when you see Wendy doing this, are you going to do this?
Aw.
Are you going to join in?
Yeah, we're doing it together.
Bloody training montage.
Okay. I feel like there should be a role for
I'm
this.
just picturing like that bit in Predator, like the 2 hands.
Yeah. Or they're lifting up industrial equipment.
Get the hell out of my engine room.
Holding out for a hero playing in the
Yeah,
One of the captain's favourite songs, I think. So, you know.
I would say this happens. Okay, there has to be a cost to this.
Blood.
It's not. I would say just purely monetarily. God, because you're doing it all off your own back, so it's not like.
Also, just for flavour, I'm in little shorts and a vest that's like a crop vest.
God, you look like the end of the Rocky 3, like the training montage.
Tell me the shorts of the vest are bright pink, Gav.
Oh my god.
Oh, no. Army khaki green.
God.
They are short shorts.
God.
Whereas towards the end of this, Wendy's running around or like stealthing around in kind of full battle dress.
Like a ghillie suit.
Yeah, exactly. Disappearing. It's like, why is there a pile of grass in the ship?
Oh god. My god. My god. Okay. This is what I'm going to say then. Instead of a monetary cost, it's me sort of thinking on my feet here. One of you can make a roll. That roll can be with advantage. That roll can be with your military training. And you have to beat... What are... God. What have you both got for combat?
46.
39. Is that just straight combat? With
Straight
no...
combat.
Straight
Yeah,
combat.
39.
Roll... You get advantage, but you got to roll under your combat.
The both of us.
One of you makes the roll with advantage. Which one of you would like to do it?
Wendy?
If Wendy makes it, you both lose the condition. If she fails, Blaze, you keep the condition. You okay with that?
Yep.
Wendy, did you roll?
Not yet. They're here. And I
it's
can
gonna be
use my
100.
I can use my military training.
Mm-hmm.
Boost that up to a 56 target.
I would maybe also say athletics, because you're doing a lot of physio. You did say you were doing a lot of running around and stuff like that. I'll allow that. I'll give you a. I'm being very generous this week.
Very
aren't I?
generous, yeah.
Yeah.
Scotching through tyres.
Oh god, I've just realised another thing. I've realised I'm also still doomed, so this could go very badly.
Oh god.
Thank you
100.
for the advantage. So the bad roll would have succeeded, but would have been a 44. And because I'm doomed, critical successes become critical failures. Luckily, the good roll was a 14, which is lovely and neutral and nice.
You both lose the condition. You're probably not pleasant company during this. You probably wind everyone up.
Yes.
And I would have said if it was a critical fail, neither one of you would have lost the condition. You would have done all this for nothing. That's how I would have ruled this.
At least we'd be extra fit to run away.
Yeah.
Quicker.
Yeah. So Doc, you probably see them a couple of times. They're sweaty and like they're clearly they've been running around the
Just
ship.
shake my head and let them get on with it.
And there's one more person.
Elite Marines!
Doc,
Hmm.
what would you like to do? You have a couple of conditions, don't you?
I've got 3, yeah. I think
Of course.
technically, rules-wise, I'd love to get rid of Deflated, but I think narratively, Spiraling would be the one to go first. So I'm going to go for getting rid of Spiraling. I think the Doc would try and do it via a combination of his talks with Sarah about the past, and yeah, there's some sadness that comes up with it, but it also reminds him why he's out here
Yeah.
in the first place. And so it gives him a little boost from that. And he would also make use of Darcy as a trained medical professional. He recognises
Okay.
that is.
Okay, so with the AI therapist, which isn't as much as you think actually, because it's inbuilt, that's 400 credits for the use of Darcy over this time. I would say each session would be 400 credits, and like you just probably need one a week. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's up to you how many times you want to talk to Darcy, but I will say
it's 3.
yeah, with that cost and the talk with Sarah, you can lose Spiraling. Yeah. And there's no rolls for that because I also especially like the fact that you chose that one, PJ. Narratively, you chose that one. So yeah.
I just don't think it would make sense to not have deflated but still be spiraling.
Yeah. There may be more opportunities to get rid of these things in the future. Who knows? Now, here comes the possible leveling up. While all of this is happening, Doc's spending a fair bit of time with these people, especially like the girl, and Wendy and Blaze are training like it's Heartbreak Ridge. Zam, what are you doing during this? I mean, you've healed up a bit, but what's going on with ZAM BRAZEL?
He's in his spiritual home. In the engine.
Yeah.
There's a bit of reading of his pamphlet.
Occasionally, the captain does bring you a coffee.
Yeah. That's nice.
She's making peace with you a little bit.
Yeah, cheers, Gab.
It's not really huge conversational moments, but she's just the olive branch.
Yeah.
You do notice
He'll just acknowledge it.
You do notice on one day there's a fresh towel that's been put in your hammock.
Yeah, he puts that to one side.
Yeah.
He's got his. He doesn't need it.
There's this nice clean towel and this ratty old rag.
Yeah,
with his written on it. Like
yeah,
the thread coming out of the. Yeah. Okay. So everyone's got their stress. Time to relax. Because this game's all about relaxing. Surely, when you relax, works like this. Although it says, see the sights, grab some drinks, and find a new bunkmate. But we're not going to do that. That's not going to happen here. However, mechanically, you can spend your port class's required credits and make a sanity save. If successful, you convert stress into points of sanity, fear, or body saves. On a failure, you relieve the stress rolled, but don't convert any into saves. So you're not getting more stress. There's no bad to this. It's just how good is it going to be? Each port class converts a different amount of stress and costs a different amount. As I said, we're taking this as a B class port of this ship, and I did a small roll earlier to see how much it would cost. Because on a B class, a relaxation would be 2d10 times 100 credits. And luckily for everyone, I rolled a 5. So this is going to cost 500 credits for everyone to do this shore leave. Which kind of makes sense because they're just going to be they're just trying to make the most of their environment to chill out. They can watch old movies, they can play games, they can do whatever. But like I say, it's all about the rolls this time. And we'll start off with Zam.
Okay.
So
what am I rolling?
Firstly, take off the 500 credits.
Yeah, I've done that.
Right. Now, I will do this per week, actually. So if you want to do this over the 3 weeks, it would be 500 per week. Okay?
Okay.
Because if you succeed on this, the stress converted is 1d5. And if you roll which is half d10, so if you roll terribly, you're not going to de-stress that much. So you've got the option to do it multiple times.
Okay.
Firstly, what is Zam doing to relax? Is it pretty much like you said, he's just taking time and reading his pamphlet?
In his hammock, reading his pamphlet, The Relic of Flesh. Lord knows what's in that.
For those who know Mothership, it's not as dark as it sounds.
He's probably gonna clean up beneath.
Which is his laser cutter for anyone who hasn't watched one of the episodes before. I want to be very clear, this is a laser cut he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how much stress have you got?
20.
Ooh, he's maxed out. Okay, right, okay. Make a sanity save. This is just a straight sanity save.
I rolled 95.
Okay, so you
And
don't.
My sanity is 35, so just.
So
not
you don't
quite there.
convert any of the stress,
Yeah.
but roll a d10.
Zero, so that's 10.
You take away 5 stress.
Oh.
Bit of a shame you
So
failed
that's-
because you could have turned those 5 points into something else. So
That's alright.
okay,
So that puts me down to 15.
okay.
So that was week 1, yeah?
That was week 1. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, I think I will, yeah.
Okay, same thing again.
Yeah. Oh, that's 27.
So you succeed on that one. Roll a
Succeed
d10.
on that one.
Roll a d10. This is one of the few times, folks, where we're getting into the mechanical parts. You got 2. Okay, so you can add 1 point to a sanity, fear, or body.
I'll put it onto body, so that takes body up to 30 then.
Brilliant. And last week, do you want to do it again?
Do I drop some stress as well?
Yes, you drop the 1 point of stress. Yes, you
The 1 point stress, yeah?
You're
So-
basically taking that from your stress and adding it to your stats, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting way of leveling up in this game, I think.
Yeah, go on, I'll do
Yeah.
one more week, yeah.
Yeah.
So that means I've spent 1,500 then,
Yeah.
yeah? Right, okay. So that's a 93, so that's a fail.
But you can roll your d10, you're still going to lose stress.
Yeah. That's another 2
So lose another point of stress.
point stress, yeah.
Okay.
So that puts me on 13.
13. You're feeling a lot better. It's still
Which is better, yeah.
still a lot better than where you were before. Wendy,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
where where are we with your stress?
We're at 20 as well.
Oh my word! I forgot. I what I've been doing to these players for the past few sessions. Okay, same
Did
thing.
did you forget the marine stress spiral?
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. That classic episode. If you haven't watched it, you really need to go back and watch that. It's amazing. So many classic moments in this season already. Okay, week 1.
Why is my sanity save at 20? That's a 39, so fail.
Okay, so you roll a d10. Half
That's a
it.
9.
Um,
Round up,
oh,
round
yeah, I'll
down.
round up. I think I've rounded up before. So
Cool.
yeah.
1 and then 25, also a fail. Ooh, that's a 10. That's another 5.
Getting in the zone, Wendy.
Get in the zone. No, basically, I've got a really lousy high rolling dice that I'm using because this is a good time to use it. 51, another fail.
Okay.
And that's a 5.
5,
So-
so that's 3, another 3 points of stress.
No, that's all. Just rage now.
Yeah. So the mindset has cleared a lot of that stress. You know.
You have to talk more like Blaze now.
Yeah. It's hardened you. It's hardened you up. It's hardened you up psychologically, and definitely helped you mentally. But it hasn't hardened you up in other ways. Blaze, how you doing?
Well, I still have that minimum 3
Yes.
on my stress.
Was that one of your conditions?
Yeah. It was in lieu of... Oh, it was... Yeah, I had 2 conditions, it seems. And one of them, I did a critical fail on it, which then gave me the minimum minimum stress 3.
What was it? Oh, I don't think it was a... Hold on. Yes, you were overwhelmed, so it's not a permanent condition.
Oh, okay.
It's not a permanent condition, but you permanently raise your minimum stress by 1.
Yes, that was it, yeah. Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. So Blaze is all, he doesn't necessarily have to.
Because I'm all pilled up.
You're all pilled up, so therefore.
So that's my relax. That's my.
Your relaxing is.
Do I have to pay for that? I mean, I know I paid for the pills, but I mean, like, I don't have to do the 500 creds.
No, you don't have to do the 500 creds because
That's right then.
Yeah, because you paid for the pills.
Yeah, that's me.
And Doc.
Because of the 2 pills, I'm on 18 at the moment, so
Okay.
we'll do week 1. That is a 98.
Okay, so roll a d10.
6.
So you remove 3 points of stress.
Okay. And then I will take week 2. 90.
Okay.
That's a 9, so that's
5
stress.
Yeah.
And then I'll take week 3 as well. Come on, roll under a 90, one of you fuckers. Oh, it did 70. That's also still a fail.
Yeah.
Oh, and I rolled a 1.
That would be 1. Yeah, that'd be fine. You just get 1.
Yeah,
Take 1 off.
that was a 1,500 credits wasted, wasn't it?
Well, you're a lot less stressed, Doc. Those talks and everything
but-
else. You know, obviously
Stupid dice.
the crew. The crew are certainly they're feeling a bit better as the day goes on. A couple of weeks into the journey, the captain calls you all in to the planning room because she has a video call come in from Echelon headquarters that wish to speak to you, and everyone sort of comes in, and Captain once again she's always with the coffee and sat down. Okay, we got one of the higher ups who want to work with us for some reason. So take a seat and let's see what they got to say. I mean, she's rested. She's also like just been getting to work and getting everything set up. And the vid screen, sort of holographic vid screen, pops up in front of you, so you're all sort of sat there. And a very well dressed figure appears on the screen. You've got a very smart suit, sort of a high collared sort of suit that's open a little bit. It's got like a sort of a silver sort of echelon badge, sort of tying it up at the top. They look probably early 40s, late 30s. Sort of slick back, sort of dark hair. And a face of absolutely sort of no humour. Quite thin. A point. There's no facial hair, but their chin comes to a little bit of a point. And they've got sort of green eyes that you can clearly see there, but quite cold looking in their own kind of way. As the figure appears on the screen. Hello there. Am I speaking with the crew of the O'Brien? It's the O'Brien, sir. Sometimes it gets a little bit mixed up on some of the documents. Yes, well, my name is Regis Valmont. I'm director of the Sojourn division here at Echelon, and I'm overseer of the Icarus project. Now, I'm calling on considering some concerning reports regarding the assignment that Gibbous Inc. and in turn your vessel was tasked with. I understand that you didn't complete the job that you were hired to do. Not only that, well, some of what I've been told was quite alarming, to say the least. If we had known that you and your crew, Captain, had been suffering from psychosis, no doubt brought about by your prolonged work on the edges of known space, I assure you we would not have given you this job. I'm calling just to let you know that this contract has, of course, been nullified And the good faith payment that was sent to you when you took on this contract has also been frozen.
Excuse me.
Yes?
What do you mean?
What is your name?
Dr. Bill Forrest. What do you mean, psychosis?
Ah, yes. Dr. Forrest. I was told you were aboard this vessel. Well, being a person of the medical profession, you understand that working for extended periods of time on those outer rims of some of these sectors can take its toll on someone's psychological profile. And from what I've read, that's clearly what's happened here. I wasn't, of course, made aware that all of you aboard this vessel were so fragile mentally.
I can assure you, sir, that is not the case. Everyone on this crew is of sound mind.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, the reports that I've read...
Tell me, how many hours in space have you logged?
That is not the point, Doctor.
I think it's entirely the point. If you can't speak from experience here, who are you to judge us? And our reports, which are entirely accurate.
I am here to tell you that you did not do the job that you were contracted to do. And therefore, we have cancelled it, we have voided the payment, and quite frankly, you're lucky to all have jobs at all after this. And that's purely on the basis that I think that all of you...
Do you know what happened on that ship?
We are having communication difficulties with the ship, which you were sent to sort out, but that doesn't seem to have happened.
But it's funny, when you're nearly killed doing a mission, because we're not given all of the facts in advance, when we in fact find that the entire crew have been murdered, all of the guests have been murdered, we manage to save 3 lives who can corroborate every word we have said.
The customer's always right, Regis?
Who is this gentleman here? Which one is that? Mr... Oh, it's Mr. Brazel. I see. Yes, well, I've been informed of your crew, all individually.
I wasn't talking about me. I was
and I must say,
customers.
Now that I can speak to you plainly, I'm not impressed.
Mr. Valmont, Mr. Valmont, you seem to know a lot about us. Do you know who I am?
You can see him occasionally. He looks off to someone that's clearly out of view. Yes, I believe. Do
you know what I do? Well,
you clearly don't do your job, madam. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And as for the
do you know
allegation
that I know where you are, and I know how to find you, and I know a number of ways.
Wendy, honey, maybe dial it back just a little.
You see this figure just sort of... He just focuses on you for a bit, Wendy.
Hey, soldier. This ain't our fight.
Well, I must say, I'm at a loss in terms of information about you, madam. But certainly, I would not throw threats like that around so idly if I were you. And this is another clear example.
Didn't sound idle to me.
This is a clear example of why clearly you and your crew should not have taken this job. If you are not psychologically prepared.
Reggie, why don't you come out here and find your ship?
Is that Mr. Brazel? Yes.
And you can see for
I've
yourself.
Tell me, Mr. Brazel, how important is your job to you? What were the alimony payments that you have to make?
Hey, screw you, pal.
Well, I can certainly make sure that your life is very difficult from now on.
You've done that already. I nearly got killed on your ship.
I'm having a
If you
hard
read
time
the
believing
reports-
any of you with this attitude I have, and certainly Dr. Forrest. I know of your reputation, but
Hey, why don't we get your 3 customers in and you can speak to them? And you can call them liars
yes, the
after you took all their money.
this little
For their
detail.
leisure cruise.
Are you saying you have members of the passenger list aboard your vessel? That is a. Let me assure you, that is quite serious.
It is, because if we hadn't brought them aboard, they would be dead now.
Once again, Mr. Forrest, forgive
Doctor.
me for not necessarily believing the words of a disgraced experimental scientist with an alcohol problem. Your reports aren't always known to be completely valid, are they, sir?
I've never lied.
Well, that's between you and the press, isn't it? And speaking of press, I want you all to know that I am doing you a favour by not having your entire careers wiped from the face of history right now. We are going to send a ship out to investigate and fix what you couldn't. And if you do indeed have members of the passenger list aboard your vessel, and if they have been harmed in any way, there will be repercussions. The sort of
dare you.
repercussions that your Wendy spoke of. I am no stranger to such threats. And I may not have travelled to as much space as you, sir. But I have survived a lot more than you think I have.
Yes, I'm sure you've had some very
Yeah.
nasty paper cuts.
What
Go aboard the Icarus and see if you survive that.
What are the names of those you supposedly have aboard?
Oh, you
I
can't
think
read,
it-
Doc.
It's up to them, really. It's whether they want to give their names or not.
I see.
They don't answer to your little corporation.
You amuse me, Doctor. I would have thought a man of your intellect would know not to bite the hand that feeds.
You think I really give a shit? If you know me, you know I'm not out here for you or anything you can give me.
So, those people you have supposedly aboard your vessel, you're not in the business of keeping them safe?
Well, we'll keep them safe. For
They're
them.
alive. Unlike the rest of your passengers.
I'm going to have my office contact your superiors, and I'm going to suggest that they all get you the best possible psychological treatment when you return. But I'm afraid our conversation is at an end right now.
May I please say one more thing?
He doesn't respond, he's just looking at you.
Fuck you.
Bye, Reggie. Have a nice time on the Icarus.
He pauses for a moment and he's... Yes. Now, Captain Austin, you clearly do not have any type of control over that crew of yours. Now, unfortunately, it seems that some of the rumours I heard are true, and you are lax with your authority. But I understand you already have a strained relationship with your family. It would not be in their interests if word of this current condition and your crew were to get out. I expect you to do what you can to... Hey, listen up. Why don't you just go fuck yourself? All I hear is just a man in a fancy suit just throwing threats at all of us. And all I hear is the ravings of a bunch of junkers who have clearly been in space too long. Now, before I go, one more thing I must stress. It goes
Captain,
without...
can we just end this transmission now, please?
Well, yeah, Reggie, you can stick it up your ass. And he goes, and the captain's just sat there like, I think we're all fucked.
Yeah, probably.
Not as much as he is gonna be when I do the thing that I was
now,
gonna get
now,
anyway.
Wendy, I mean, I've travelled with you a little bit, and I've never heard you talk like that in all my days. What's going on? You can't just... Were you threatening to kill that man?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. And she takes a coffee cup and just, as you were, goes back. And you continue on the voyage. A very interesting discussion that I need to make.
So bad with authority.
And
Oh, he was such a prick.
He totally was. He totally was.
He was such a Vince.
Right, okay.
Jim said that.
Okay.
Someone, apparently.
Okay. Funny thing is, I play other tabletop games with Jim, and he's lovely to me in those sessions. I don't know why he's so horrible to me. I cry after every Mothership session. No, but the journey continues, and eventually, as about a week passes, and everyone is, like we say, they're still relaxing. Where did you put your guests, the passengers? Doc, I'm leaving this in your hands, not in Wendy's hands. She wanted to put them in a barracks and probably shoot them out the airlock.
Well, Zam gave his bunk for one of them, didn't he?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that 2 beds in that room?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the doc's not using a bunk, so
yeah,
probably would have put Sarah in the doc's bunk and the 2 guys in Zam's.
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone's sort of settled down, and you do notice over those couple of days, you do have to ration. Roy especially isn't used to the rationing and the situation that they find themselves in. But Sarah and Quill, they want to try and chip in and help whenever they can. You know, they're just trying to figure out what's going on, and just they want to keep themselves busy sometimes until they can get home. And then eventually, the captain calls you all to the bridge. And on roll 20, I'm going to take the players. As you... And when you step onto the bridge and the captain's there, you see something in the distance.
Oh, cool.
You see a planet approaching. And you can see the occasional sort of small flash from, like, you can see the swirling atmosphere below as you have made it to Cassius Prime. And that's where we're going to end this week's session.
Oh. Man, Vince, you created such a hateful fuck.
Really lent into that, PJ.
He riled me up as much as my character. It was...
You have been listening to Safe Space, a tabletop role-playing podcast featuring the Mothership game system by Tuesday Night Games. Playing the game were Jim Bampfield as ZAM BRAZEL, Lizzie Boyle as Wendy, Gavin Mitchell as Dick SLOANE, PJ Montgomery as Dr. Bill FORREST, and Vince Hunt as the Game Warden. Podcast produced and edited by Vince Hunt. In-game music composed by Tabletop Audio. Visit tabletopaudio.com to discover a world of ambient music you can use in your home games. The Safe Space theme was composed by ELIOT Red. Find more of ELIOT's work on YouTube. To find out more about the Mothership RPG system, visit mothershiprpg.com. Follow the show on social media at SafeSpaceRPG, and for more podcasts, visit lawbreaker.podbean.com. This has been a Lawbreaker Radio production.